Hi again. This is post-op video number 3. So I have a few things that I wanted to share in this one. I've already covered a number of things, but these things are kind of interesting. So first of all, the breast surgeon, when she came in to go over everything, before going into the operating room, she told me that they're going to inject a tracing dye. She gave me what the name of it was. Please don't ask me what the name is. I have no clue. A tracing dye so that they knew which lymph node to remove, because they removed the first one as the first one exiting the breast area. And they test that one for any sort of cancer. If there's no cancer there, we're clear. If there's cancer there, there could be something else somewhere else. Hopefully there's no cancer there. If there is, it could mean chemo. Most likely is going to mean chemo, and I really don't want that. But we'll do what we have to do. But anyway, so she said, they inject this tracer dye that's in there. And as a forewarning, just so you know, for a couple of days, your pee is going to be blue. And we looked at each other and said, what, blue? What? Did you just say blue? She said, yes, your pee is going to be blue. And immediately, Melissa and I and Janine were like, it's going to match my hair. I was so excited that my pee was going to match my hair because, who doesn't want their pee to match their hair? But lo and behold, the very first time I peed, and actually it's back to normal now, but for most of yesterday, it was like this. It was blue. It was like this color blue. And it was really pretty cool. It almost looked like, like the cleaner, like I had poured cleaner in the toilet, but I didn't. So anyway, I had blue pee for a couple of days. I just found that fascinating, and that just cleared out. So the other thing I wanted to share was the markings that the breast surgeon made, the plastic surgeon made, because we were doing, due to the amount of tissue and the lump and everything that was being removed from my right breast, if nothing was done, it most likely would have created a concave area in the breast, so a deformity. So we opted to do some minor plastic surgery, basically rearrange the tissue in the breast where the lump was removed. And then do like a little lift and a slight tissue removal, a slight reduction on the left so that everybody balances out. So the plastic surgeon came in and spent a decent amount of time doing measurements, and I think it came off, but she had this tape measure that she would start here sometimes and then trace down to like my belly button, or trace down to my breastbone, and then to the one nipple, and then to the other nipple, and then around to the sides. And then she would measure around the circumference of underneath the breast and around the top of the breast and the nipple, and all these different measurements. And every time she would take a measurement, she had a purple marker, and she would draw lines to specifically where those measurements were, so that she knew once we got into the surgery where she was cutting, what she was doing, where the dimensions and the measurements and everything needed to land after the surgery, to maintain a natural look after everything was done. So I got a chance to look at the markings after she was finished. I saw all the markings in the mirror, and it was such a cool pattern. It looked like this super cool kind of like Art Deco, like linear, geometric linear shape. And I immediately thought, oh my God, this will make a really cool tattoo. But I'm obviously not going to get, a Gigundo tattoo on my chest, but I think it would be really cool to do, maybe on, like the wrist or on the ankle, or, some way, like reduce it down, but still have that shape as a really cool tattoo, which I think I'm hoping that I can get, because she did take pictures, I believe, like during the surgery and, beforehand. So I'm hoping that I can get an image of it, and, I don't know, maybe do a tattoo of it someday. Maybe not, but at least just have an image of it, because it was really pretty cool. So I guess the message for that is just kind of, and the blue pea, just kind of, enjoy things. You're going to go through these horrible, horrible times. And, if I didn't have to have breast cancer, I don't want it, but I have it. So you have to make the best out of what you have, right? So enjoy the silly things as they come along. Blue pea, Art Deco designs on my chest. I think that it's just, to me, it's all fascinating, and it's all an interesting way of like kind of looking at the things, how they went along. So another thing, okay. So during the surgery, as they were, they're sterilizing, and I think it's, was it Benadine? I think it's called Benadine, the sterilization that they wipe you down with during the surgery. I was already passed out. I wasn't aware of any of it. That plus I think just the cleansing and everything. So the markings that she made started to bleed out. But then the Benzidine, maybe it's Benzidine, that also was like down my arms and a little bit. So it was messy. I looked like a messy Marvin. And of course I couldn't shower yesterday. I showered today, which I'm very excited about. But I have padding, so it wasn't like a full shower. We'll talk about that in a second. But so as the result of like the Benzidine, we're going to go with that. The Benzidine, the markings melted, and the Benzidine bled, and the Benzidine kind of went down my arm. I don't know. No, I don't think you can see it in the imagery, but I do have a picture. I looked like I had a Charlie Brown arm, like the zigzag shirt that Charlie Brown wears in his episodes. And it was like, oh, look at that. I have a built-in Charlie Brown arm. So I will share a picture of that in the end. But yeah, the shower was interesting. So I know I mentioned in a previous video that I have drains. And so they come out, and there are these tubes that come out. And it's these little bottles at the end of the tubes that collect the fluid from where I'm healing. And they're hooked to the compression bra that I'm wearing. Well, today I was allowed to take a shower. I couldn't obviously wear the bra in the shower. So what do you do with the drains? They gave me this harness thing that goes over, and you put the little tube bottles in this harness. It almost looks like it's like a feed. It's longer, but it kind of looks like a feed bag. It's around your neck, and it's got two little pockets in it. And you put one of the bottles in like these little pockets, and then they're there, so you're not losing them on the floor, and then you kind of wash around it. But it was washing around the tubes, washing around the harness, washing around the pouch. There's still steri strips everywhere. Like I was able to take off like the main bandages, that was allowed, but the steri strips are all there. And then there's also a large bandage that's under my right arm. That's for where the lymph node was removed. So that has to stay also. So I wasn't able to like really get into the armpit. Let's just say I'm glad that, I'm glad you can only see me, and that you're not smelling me, and that the people that only come to the people that are in my house are people that love me and know that I'm not a stinky person. Because this is an interesting time. We'll just leave it at that, I guess. But yeah, so to wrap up the video, I had blue pea, I had Art Deco illustrations on me, and I had a Charlie Brown arm, and I showered, but I still stink. And there it is. So I guess maybe it's oversharing. I don't know, but I wanted to share this journey, and this is all part of the journey. So I hope you're enjoying it. Thanks, guys.